Cyril, thank you so much for sitting down with me today as the National Development and Sustainability Manager for Holcim in Australia. Can you please talk me through your sustainability agenda?
No problem. Thank you very much, Davina, for having me here today. We are a global leader in construction material as Lafarge Holcim. We produce aggregates, we produce concrete pipes, but also cement globally. And obviously, there's an associated challenge from a sustainability perspective. So we adapt to that challenge and offer responses and very strong goals around 4 different areas: climate and energy. In the carbon emission space, we obviously have to address these pieces very strongly. What we have done is we've got policies and measures in place now to align ourselves with the COP21 2-degree scenario.
Which, that's very impressive for a concrete company.
And we are obviously very much then filtering that through all the different countries. But sustainability is not all about carbon emission. We also have very strong programs for water, reducing the withdrawal of fresh water around our operations, increasing the amount of water being recycled. Biodiversity. We have quarries and operations that do disturb land, but some areas can be protected and we can have a net positive impact on biodiversity.
Can you talk me through that? Is that mainly on-site at the quarry or is that a little more off-site? How does that work?
Usually our operations are big operations and your extraction area are located in one particular spot of that operation, but there's lots of different spaces where we do have undisturbed vegetation that we can actively manage to increase the biodiversity potential. That's about protecting the area, that's about weeding, that's about planting, that's about partnering with the right people. So we measure, and we've got a tool that we've developed at a global level with IUCN, which is the nature branch of the UN. And we implement that, it's called BRS, this indicator, biodiversity indicator, and we are implementing that measurement on all our sites. Eventually, what we want to do is to be able to go back to our operations and measure improvement.
Well, my next question is about that next step. When can the construction industry expect to buy net zero concrete from you?
Very good question. And I'm actually very pleased to announce here at Transform that we are in the final stages of being able to do that.
Wow.
So we are only a few steps away for gaining the certification, under the Australian national standard to be able to sell carbon neutral concrete.
Well, this has been an innovation that we've been waiting for a long time, and I'm so pleased that you can share that with us today, and we'll be obviously celebrating with you in due course. Seems appropriate that I ask you what drives innovation in your business. That's highly innovative.
Absolutely. I think, what we are looking at this journey that we've been through, it's all about global trends, really, of as we continue to build for population growth, we have to ensure that concrete in particular, which is key to that component, has lower carbon. And we have in place very strong measures where, for example, in Europe, we have a research and development center that is looking at all these innovative products on a global perspective. The drivers for us are always going to be different natures, these global trends, the local environment, the customer demand, and environmental government policies, and how are we going about this.
So let's go to customer demand. You've got the audience of all of industry. We're so privileged to have sustainability consultants, developers, leaders, professionals all across industry that are really trying to make this happen. What is it that you need from industry to make some of these goals come to reality? We haven't always traditionally partnered well vertically down our supply chain and sort of done some of that strategy together. What is it that you need?
When we talk about bringing embodied carbon upfront, it is about shifting the thinking from us being a supplier to us being a solution provider. And when I say this, what I'm talking about is involving your suppliers very early in the piece so that we have the ability to develop the product that you need for your project that is going to answer your challenges. And I think we can very much do this with embodied carbon. So the shift that we need is really this at the tender phase, because this is what we're talking about, this engagement with the supplier, thinking solution provider, is really key. And if there's one message, that would be probably this one.
Well, look, and that is incredible. When we launched with the World Green Building Council the Embodied Carbon Report in Climate Week last year, really to put a spotlight on embodied carbon, we've just been overwhelmed with how much industry's worked with us. So what a fabulous announcement today, and thank you so much for coming and spending time with us in this new virtual world.
My pleasure, Davina. Thank you very much.